My twin brother betrayed me in the best way possible. My twin brother has always been the wild card of our family. I remember being 16 when he tried to peer pressure me into stealing our parents' liquor and getting drunk together. I declined, and when I came back to the kitchen an hour later, I saw him stumbling all over the place, barely able to stand still. I fed him some bread and water and hoped this was a one-time moment of teenage rebellion, but it wasn't. He continued to drink himself dry, and it even got to the point where I noticed him bringing in a flask into school. I thought it would be easy to talk to him, that all I had to do was let him know he was acting like an R-word and would have no future, but it wasn't. That's when he threw his water bottle at me. It was hard, threatening. Nancy, get out. So by the time he barely made it to graduation, he was a full-blown alcoholic. Coffee every morning that was 80% vodka, a few bottles of Budweiser every night that he kept under his bed. And I didn't even have to tell my parents, because he made it so obvious that they found out themselves. As my dad threw all his poop into a bin bag, Brian's whole stature changed. He went from having a boyish smirk on his face and pretending like he didn't care, to being filled with rage. I just stood frozen in the doorframe, wanting to see what was happening but not wanting to get hurt. Suddenly, Brian clocked him. "I'm so sorry!" he immediately yelled, looking down at his hands like he was scared of what he was capable of. Tears were streaming down his face. My dad hugged him and promised that we were there for him, that he would pay for him to go to rehab. Fast forward 10 years, and Brian seemed like he got his life together. By this point, he had a daughter and wife. We were all extremely proud of him. Meanwhile, I had a husband that I loved. Luckily, his mom was an abusive alcoholic, so he was fully trained on how to deal with one. So when we went to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, everything was going smoothly at first. We honestly looked like the white picket fence family everyone always talks about. I was downstairs with my dad cooking up a steak when I heard a yell from upstairs. I sprinted so fast I almost tripped over, and that's when I saw Brian had given my husband a black eye right outside the bathroom door, just like the one he had given my dad all those years ago. "Get the F away from her!" Brian yelled. A wave of shock ran through me, and I slapped Brian. My husband, being too nice to hit Brian back, settled for leaving with me. I didn't know what had happened, but I wasn't sticking around to find out, because if Brian had started drinking again, there was no way I'd allow my pregnant self to be anywhere near him. I expected everyone to be angry on my behalf, but from skimming the message notifications, it was clear everyone jumped on the hating my husband bandwagon. It felt like everyone had lost their minds, and I guess my husband noticed my discomfort, because he took my phone and told me to just relax for the evening. He even deleted all the texts I had received. He really seemed perfect. That's when things took a turn. The next day, I went to call Brian, mainly to encourage him to return to rehab, but as soon as the phone started ringing, my husband slapped it out of my hand. "Why the EF are you talking to a man that assaulted me? If I was any other woman, or a younger version of myself, maybe his manipulation would have worked. But even I knew that slapping a phone out of my hand was crazy, and I had every right to talk to my family. Brian never should have hit you, and I'll never forgive him for it. But I need to make sure he's getting help. I didn't realize I married someone who sides with abusers." He cut me off. I immediately switched my face into a fake moment of realization. "Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry, baby." He nodded before saying, "Good girl," and walking away. That's when I got in my car, drove to the park, and called Brian, because now I was more suspicious of my husband than ever. He picked up straight away. "Lauren, I need you to trust me and drive over here right now." His voice was urgent, and I knew that no matter what, Brian would never lay his hands on me, so I drove. When I got there, my dad couldn't even make eye contact with me, and my mom was in his arms, silently sobbing. Brian gently pulled me into the room next door. "Lauren," his tone was rarely ever serious, so I knew this was bad. "I want your husband dead." His voice was cold, unforgiving. I narrowed my eyes at him and started debating whether I should slap him again, until he finally spit out an explanation that made me want him dead too. When he was outside the bathroom door, my daughter was inside. I saw it, Lauren. His hands were in his pants. He was kneeling down to the peephole with a smile on his face that I never want to see again. I swallowed the bile that rose in my throat. The rest of the full story is on my channel.